Hi, Josephine. Good evening.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, good.
Good
I
evening. How's work?
okay. I never thought. I thought there's no class today. There's no section today.
I had a session on Mondays and Tuesdays. There's always going to be sessions Mondays and Tuesdays. Hi, Daniel. Join the call. Thank you. Hi, Michael. Sorry, Miracle. How you
Hi,
doing?
good evening.
Okay, so I need us to drop a comment in the pod, especially specifically for the pods. Remind them to join the session because I would kick off at 11, sorry, 9:05. Thereabout. Sure. Am I audible? Let me see that I would switch my network.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Okay, 9:03. How's the day, Miracle? It was good.
Yeah, it was okay. Still going on,
I, oh, it's
but
still
it's
good.
been good so far.
Your day is still going on. I don't envy you. It's already 9:03.
Um,
I you round up in no time.
uh, yeah, yeah. Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Thank
okay.
you. How have you been too?
Well, have been good. We're pushing. I know, thank God for
Yeah.
everything.
Alright.
All right, cool. So I'll go ahead to share my screen. It's good that we have some members dropping in. So let me know if my screen is visible. I'll have this little pop-up here. Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Daniel. How you doing? Can you hear me? Okay. So I think your your audio is bad, but I'm not able to hear you. Okay, so I'd like to introduce myself, but I'm believing that everyone on this call already know me. But just for the sake that I am recording, my name is Josephine Bosa, the EPLC convener. And today, this session is specifically for those in the growth pod because these are the persons who are just transitioning into the career path of project managers. So for some persons in this class, what I'm teaching is not new to them, but it could also serve as a refresher for them. Why some persons, this can be new to you, but in any case, this is targeted to uh, people or individuals who are just transitioning into the project management space. Okay, so my topic this evening is Agile Methodology, Foundations and Focus on Scrum. So I want to take us through a journey from the very basics, from the very beginning, and then we'll work our way up from there, right? I'm audible. Can I get a thumbs up just so I don't just keep talking and I'm out of the call? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rahim. Okay, cool. So I'm going to walk us through that, from that journey. I'm going to take this guy out. I'll walk us through that journey. And if there's any question, feel free to unmute and ask me those questions. Okay. Now, the first thing I want us to look at is the project management landscape. I usually have this analogy when I want to talk about project management and the methodologies in project management. Now, I usually say that project management are couples. Project is a man, management is a woman. They came together, they got married, and they gave birth to kids. But the first child that they gave birth to is waterfall. So prior to now, if anybody had told you that they were a project manager, there was just one methodology that they used in managing project by default, right? By default. So a project manager, even if the person does not know the waterfall methodology, by default manages projects using that methodology. And I just want to break down the word. When we say methodology, the word method is from methodology. It's a way of doing things. It's a strategic or distinct or specific way of doing things. Now, when we look at the project management landscape, we're looking at the agile frameworks, we're looking at the methodology types, and of course, project management itself. So let's talk about this very important aspect. We've talked about project management prior to now. It's the core discipline of planning, executing, and overseeing projects, right? So project management in a layman's perspective is an act of managing project and delivering it successfully. So if you want to manage projects, you have to plan, you have to execute, and you have to ensure that you oversee the entire project. And then the Agile framework is an iterative approach to project management and software development. Now, I'm not big on big words that, we don't get to explain to the very least. When we say something is iterative, we're saying it is in a looping system. It's a feedback loop. So you start something, it's like doing the same thing over and over again. And if you look at our lives sometimes fit into an iterative approach. Now, I could just give an example of our lives. You wake up, you take your breakfast, you prepare for work, you take your lunch, you come back, have dinner, sleep. Everything you do every day, you're repeating the same process every day. That's iteration. That's being iterative. You're doing the same things, more like you're in a circle. What you did today, you're going to wake up tomorrow doing the same thing, and it goes on and on. So when you hear the word iteration or iterative, it's a feedback loop. It's a process that keeps going on and on. There's a start, there's a finish, but just keeps going on and on. All right. And then the methodology types, we have two types of methodology. Well, there could be other, but as at the last time I checked, there are two major types of methodology, which is the waterfall and the agile. Now, this diagram, I put it here because it gives like a very visual understanding of what I'm saying, not just in terms of, oh, I'm saying it, but you can see it. So at the very top, you see project management. And the far sides of project management, you see waterfall and agile. And like I said, these two guys came together, they got married, and they gave birth to their first child. Their first child was waterfall. And waterfall opened the company. If you're going to work in the company of that child called waterfall, you could only work in one position, which is the position of a project manager. And this was great. Life was good, okay? But like every parent, every parent, they want to see their children procreate and, do the same thing that they did. But the thing about waterfall is that waterfall stuck to his or her guns and say, you know what, I'm good. I don't want to give birth. I want to be child-free, sort of. So if you are going to ever think of working in waterfall's company, the only role that is available for you was being a project manager. So the project managers of those days, I'm using those days because something new has come on board. The project managers of those days uses waterfall by default to manage the project. They may not know the rudiments. They may not necessarily probably go through a mentorship or whatever it is, but it was a default setting that if you're ever going to manage a project, the waterfall approach just comes in naturally. All right. But the waterfall approach was there for so many years and life was great. But the thing about it is that as the world kept on advancing, projects became complex, human needs became insatiable. And when I say human needs, it's just you and I, right? If you look at the world today, if it was possible that you go online in any e-commerce store to buy something and you can literally bring it out of your laptop, you would do that. All right. And we're even getting into the stage where I think it was Google that released that. I'm not quite sure right now, where in e-commerce sites, if you want to try on a clothes, there's a way, is it 3D or 5D or AI has done it in such a way you could actually see how, okay, so I remember now. So if you want to try out a cloth, all you need to do is like upload your picture and somehow the cloth fits into your body and you could see right there from your phone or from your laptop if this cloth is something you would like, if it's going to really suit you and if you need to buy it. So things started advancing, projects became more complex. And there was high competition because of, human needs became insatiable. Aside from the fact that it became insatiable, there was choice. There was this thing about choice. If you go to the grocery store, at the aisle, you have plethora of different products that solving one issue, right? So it was now a game of who goes to the market faster, who is able to occupy a large market share. It's also about quick return on investment. It was about faster delivery and delivering within budget. So the waterfall methodology is great, but was no longer sustainable. That was the problem, because projects became very large, it became very complex. We needed to deliver very fast to the market. And that was when, just like every parent, they knew that waterfall was a child-free, person who says, I am not interested in giving birth. Okay. And so they or how would I put it, smiled on them and they gave birth to another child called Agile. Now, this child called Agile was everything that waterfall was not. It's just like having siblings. And I think we do have them if you're more than one. And they will say, oh, is this your brother? Is this your sister? And you guys have totally different character. We see that. So that's the same thing with Agile. So, right, you could say that waterfall was rigid, waterfall was traditional. You could say that waterfall is sequential, is a phase, step-by-step kind of thing. So everything waterfall is, Agile was the complete opposite, just like two siblings, but they don't behave alike. So if waterfall was rigid, Agile was flexible. If waterfall was traditional, Agile was modern. And then the best part of it was that because increasingly projects became more complex, Agile gave birth to more children, just what waterfall would not do or didn't want to do, and that was okay. But Agile said, you know what, I have come to this world to procreate. And it gave birth to a lot of children. What are the children? We call the children frameworks. We call them Agile frameworks. And then we have Scrum, we have Kanban, we have Lean, Extreme Programming, Safe. There's a whole lot of children. Crystal. This is not even all of it, but this is like a picture, a pictorial way of you seeing the analogy that I have in my head. All right, so moving forward, what is Agile methodology? Again, the word methodology, remove the logic, it's method. Everybody have their method of doing things. So that, for instance, if I say, oh, I'm looking to wash my clothes, someone else will say, I'm going to wash with my hands. Another person will say, oh, I'm going to use the washing machine. There are two methods of washing clothes with just different ways. So you just choose what suits you. So what is Agile methodology? Agile methodology is an adaptive, iterative approach to project management. I'm not big on buzzwords because I believe that when you're using buzzwords, you should have understanding. You're using terminology saying, oh, iterative, adaptive, you should know what you're saying. So let's pick these words, one after the other. When they say Agile is an adaptive, it means that in any circumstance within the project environment, as you're going about executing the project, Agile can adapt. right? And the way and manner Agile is executed makes it adaptive in such a way that, so let's use human, for example. So currently, okay, I'm in Nigeria. If I go to any country, even though they don't, I may not speak their language, I was not born there, their culture, I'm able to adapt. If I really think of living there and, blending among the people there, I am able to adapt. There are times when we have been in circumstances that are not favorable. We are currently going through things, or you've gone through things that are not great, or whatever the situation is, but you find yourself adapting. You find yourself, just blending into the environment by which you find yourself. That is Agile. Agile is not discriminative. However it is, whatever you want to come up with, surprises, impediment, dependencies, scope creep, Agile will say, that's fine. I mean, it is my reality right now, and I'm just going to adapt to it because it's just for the time being. So that's the way Agile is. Now, Agile is iterative. I've talked about iterative, something that is a feedback loop. You do it, you start, you finish, you go back and again, doing the same thing, following the same process. Now, this methodology is flexible. When we say Agile is flexible, we're not saying it's, trying to just make things sound nice. Agile is really flexible. Waterfall is rigid. Now, the process by which you manage a project using waterfall is naturally rigid. Have you heard some people say, oh, this is the way we do things in my family. Oh, this is the way I am. This is the way this is. Now, there are times when maybe you've worked in organizations where you hear, oh, this is the way we used to do things in this department. This is the way we've been doing it. Yes, you might have been doing things that way, but the question is that the best practice? Is it more efficient? Is it effective? The fact that you have been this way, you've been doing things like this, oh, we've been doing this over 100 years, that doesn't mean that's the best way of doing things in the climate, in the recent climate that we are. So Agile is flexible. Agile is collaborative, okay? It's big on collaboration. Collaboration in the sense that it's more of a team player. It doesn't like working in silos. Silos means in isolation. Because if you really look at this critically, project is a big deal. There are some times that even if you're planning your own wedding, it's a project. And a lot of people are even, they get very overwhelmed planning their own little project in their own little way, that sometimes they even outsource it. They even give it to like maybe event planners. You know what, the headache is too much. Just, I'm going to pay you, take care of it. Okay. So, but Agile is saying you can't do life alone. That's the way Agile is thinking. I usually tell people that Agile is a mindset. So if you're a project manager currently and you're looking to upskill as an Agile project manager, first thing is you want to switch your mindset, because by default, you are a project manager and you understand waterfall. A lot of project managers, nobody necessarily taught them waterfall. It's by default. It's like growing up and you saw yourself behaving some way, thinking in some way, and doing some things. Yes, because you grew up knowing those things. And now you are now an adult. There is now the place of learning, relearning, and unlearning. Oh, I'm like this. This is the way we're doing this. That's not the right way. That's not the most effective way. So even as adults, we know that, oh, I think like this. I act like this. This is not good. This is not nice. If I'm going to work with people, if I'm going to have relationships, friendships, I can't afford to continue thinking like this. So you decide to drop some things. So that's a shift in mindset. So for everybody who's looking to, because you don't necessarily have to wear the regalia of the role of a project manager before you say, you know what, I'm transitioning from waterfall to Agile. Because everybody, I usually say that project management is life management, okay? And that everybody is a project manager in their own right. Like your life is a project, and you are your own project manager. So it's very important that if you must learn Agile, I tell people, no matter what platform, what you learn, who taught you, whatever it is, if you do not switch your mind from something that is already default to something that is better, you're going to have problems. Because naturally, waterfall is rigid, agile is flexible. Agile is saying if there is a manual way of doing things, now there's an automatic or automated way of doing things. So the fact that I've heard people in big 2026 say, oh, you know what? I know washing machine is good, but when you wash clothes with your hands is the cleanest in big 2026. Who says that? But and again, there's nothing you want to say to convince those people because it's ingrained in their memory. And have you seen some people who maybe in their kitchen, they have some very nice kitchen gadgets, or in their house, they use their hand to buy it. They bought these things that could make their life very easy and give them this soft life, but they're not using it. It's gathering dust one place in the house. You know it was good. You know this thing will give you soft life, but it's all here. It's all happening in your mind. You're still stuck in your ways. You still find yourself going to the kitchen, going through the manual way of cooking. If you don't even have it, it's different. But when we go through your kitchen, we are seeing a lot of things that could make your life easier, that could make you cook food 2 times, 3 times faster. But no, your mind is configured. Your mind is conditioned to think in a certain way. And that's where the trouble begins. So in this class, for you to learn Agile, condition yourself in such a way. I tell students, have an open mind. Whatever you used to know, oh, I used to know this, I learned this. In the Agile class, your mind should be that of a child. You want to be able to receive. You want to open your mind to learn a lot of things. That is the Agile way. So in saying all of this, Agile is collaborative. You can't do life alone. No man is an island. You need people. And so same way, if you're going to work in a project, there's no, I know it all. I have 15 years of experience. I'm a project manager. I can't code. I don't know how to code. I don't know how to test. I need someone who code. I need someone who test. I need someone who do the business analysis. I need people. So I have to collaborate. And I have to find a way to work with people in such a way that these people are not exhausted, depressed, working with me just because we're working in a project. Okay, and then the incremental delivery of value. When you hear the word incremental comes from the word increase. Increase, incremental, increase. I'm going to go back quickly in the class just to see if I'm still audible. Am I audible, guys? Can you hear me? Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Thank
can.
you so much. Thank you, guys. All right, cool. Awesome. So I'll go back. I usually feel like, you know what, let this network don't come and play fast one on me. All right, cool. So let's go back to incremental delivery. When you hear incremental delivery, it's all about increase. And one way to explain incremental, anything you want to read is English. Let me tell you, I like using analogies that you and I can relate with. So anyway you come across that word, you remember the gist. Now, when you hear the word incremental delivery, we do incremental delivery in our personal life. We just don't know, or we have not come across that, oh, this thing we're doing is incremental delivery. Let me explain it. A lot of us understand the culture of saving, right? The year has started and most of us are already, trying to top up whatever. If you're not saving, you're trying to start saving, you're trying to top up on your investments, you're trying to do a lot of things just to make your life better. Now, if you start saving $1 from January 2026 to December 2026, you know how much that will be. That's an incremental way of doing this. So incremental means doing things bit by bit, and it increases, it compounds. It's that investment word that you hear, compounding effect. So $1 may not look like anything. From January, that if you actually have been saving $1 from January till now, it doesn't look like anything. But wait till the next 3 months, wait till the next 6 months, wait till the next 12 months. You will see that indeed I have money. You will brag that you have money. You feel good that you have money. So in Agile, we're not all about the big things. Because let's even be clear, in doing big things, some of us have chickened out. A lot of things you say you wanted to achieve last year. I want to do this. I want to buy. What did you do? How did you do it? But Agile is saying you may have a 12 month goal, a 2-year goal, but you know what? Let's break it down. Let's do it bit by bit by bit. Okay, you know what? I want to buy a house by 2026 December. With example, let's say that house is $12,000, right? This is Agile methodology. Follow me. If that house is $12,000, is ordinarily you're scared. Have you heard instances where you say your dream can scare you? Yes, we have dreams that scare you. But Agile is saying it's achievable, not by motivational speaking, but by actual incremental way. So if the house is $12,000, Agile is saying, okay, this if we spread it for, if the house is $12,000, at the end of December, you're looking to buy that house. Let's break it down in quarters, okay? So in a year, we have 4 quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. When we say we have 4 quarters, each quarter has 3 months, because in a year we have 12 months. So if you break down $12,000 in a quarter, that gives you, I think, $3,000, right? So you see that for you to buy that house of $12,000, in a quarter, what you need to make at minimum is $12,000. Sorry, $3,000, right? But that's still quite scary. Let's be honest. That's still quite scary. Actually saying, no, we'll break it down to the very smallest, so that when you see it, you feel like this thing is achievable. So in a quarter, we have 3 months. So that $3,000, each month is $1,000. So now you know that the least you should have in your account, I've saved in your account monthly, is $1,000. Is it not looking realistic to you? Now, actually saying, well, no, that's still big. That's still big. Let's break it down. So in a month, we have 4 weeks in a month. Now, for you to have $1,000 in a month, each week you should have 250,000, how do I put it? $250, yes, $250. That's what you should have in your account in a week. I hope my math is correct, right? So with that, you know this is now very feasible. That every week, no matter what I do, however I do it, the minimum I should have in my account is $250. So this is Agile to you. Agile is not saying, oh, let's immerse ourselves in the big things. Agile is saying, let's do things small. Today, you're looking at, oh, I'm going to do XYZ. By the end of 3 months, I should have been in a position to start applying as a project manager. That's great. That's fantastic. But you and I know it's not achievable. The world is full of distractions. Everything is distracting you. Everything is calling for your attention. So Agile is saying, hold on, pause. What can you do daily that will culminate into weekly, that will culminate into monthly? And at the end of the day, you realize your goal. This is what Agile is all about. And these are the things that we can even adopt in our daily life and don't necessarily have to be a project manager. All right, moving on. What is the core values of Agile? We have 4 core values of Agile. One of them is individuals and interaction. Individuals and interaction. Now, in Agile, we value individuals and interaction. Now, I wanted to, I wish I'd put, because in Agile, there's something we usually say that we value what is in the left over what is in the right. Okay, so I think I can quickly show us this. So let me see if I can quickly bring that out. We value what is in there. So sometimes this comes up in interviews where they may ask you and they will say, they may not necessarily ask you what are the Agile values. No, they won't ask you that. It's too simple. You can easily get it. They will ask you in Agile, what do we value? Is it the things in the right over the things in the left, or the things in the left over the things in the right? When you hear left, right, you know that they're talking about the Agile values. And this is what I'm looking for. So what is in the left is Agile. What is in the right is waterfall. And so we say in Agile that we value what is in the left over what is in the right. That is not to say that the things in the right are not good or they are not important. No, they are, but we just value, we just prioritize. What is in the left is just more important to us. Now, when they say this, what do they mean? So Agile is saying we value individuals and interaction over processes and tools. What does that mean? A lot of us, this thing happens in our organization. Most of us work daily. We're all about process and tools. You want to write an email, see my cubicle, see your cubicle there. And you want to ask Josephine, Josephine, that email or that document, have you sent it? Oh, XYZ is expecting that document. No, why will you do that? Why are you going to come to my cubicle to ask me? No, you've just opened the official email. Dear Josephine, sequel to the meeting we had yesterday. I'm dramatic. And then you're sending me email, something you could just go over to my office there and say, hey, just have for now. Okay, that email, what's up with it? That document, this is XYZ needs it. Easier. And I can remember it and act on it immediately. Because the tendency that you will send me email, I may be doing something else. I may not see that email quickly. By the time I respond to that email is late. What are we doing? We are wasting productive time. Agile is saying, stop that. What's that? What's that? Individuals and interaction. The people in your office are not robots. Talk to people, talk to human beings. You need people, you need human beings. Liaise with them, collaborate with them. And these are the things we miss. I usually say it when I'm teaching stakeholder management, that when you need the knowledge to get the job. You need the knowledge to get past the interviewer. When you get to the job, you need relationships to take you far. A lot of people have been promoted today, not because of what they do. You and I know that we've worked for some people and you have been thinking, how did this person get this job? How am I answerable to this person? How is this person don't know anything? How is this person leading me? Hello, individuals and interaction over processes and tools. Relationship is currency. You go to job, you are squeezing your every time you are sending email. See this, see admin, see this. Hello, I'm not saying emails are not important. I am just saying that it's even much more valuable to have interactions with individuals. And a lot of times we're all about, waterfall is all about tools. Waterfall is all about tools. Oh, let's use these tools. Let's use that tools. Let's use these tools. We want to interact with clients. It's not just about in the workplace. Interact with clients, talk to clients, know their pain points, walk them through the project. A lot of us, but it's only when we are signing that contract paper, we're having interaction with clients. Till we complete the project, that's the next time you're looking at the client, you're having a meeting with the client to show the client. That's when the client is saying, oh, I don't like this side. Can you change it to this? Can you change it to that? It's like when you tell your tailor to make clothes for you. A tailor that values individuals and interaction over processes and tools. When you have given the tailor the sample of design that you like, the tailor will always reach out to you and say, oh, I made this side of this cloth. Can you come for fitting? I made this side. Can you come for fitting? By the time the cloth is ready and you wear it, there won't be any need for adjustment. It fits you like a glove. But a tailor that values processes and tools, the day you give the tailor money, give the tailor the sample and everything, till when the cloth is ready, and you're coming that, and maybe you need to even go for that event that day. That's when you're saying, I don't like this way. Oh, this place is tight. Oh, let's adjust. When is the time to adjust it? Sometimes you even fit the whole cloth. So that's the idea. All right. And then the next one says working software. We value in Agile, we value working software over comprehensive documentation. Waterfall, you people like to document. They remind me of government offices where, God, I don't want to call the name of a country, but the country knows itself. Where you go, they're still documenting things the manual way. They're still writing on paper. There are some offices you go to, even when the person wants to do handover to the next person, you are going through a pile of documents. Some dust has finished it, is useless, is no longer needed, is not valuable, there is no proper database, nothing. We are always writing. Agile is saying, you know what? We value working software. Comprehensive documentation is good though, but we want the software to work. What does it mean? When I say, oh, I'm hungry, I tell you that I'm hungry. You're asking me, okay, what do you need distilled water or chilled water? Do you need this? Oh, I want to eat now. while you are documenting and writing those things, Agile is saying send your MVP to the market, your minimum viable product. The market will not wait for you. Oh, I'm thinking of doing chin-chin. A lot of us have great business ideas here. The ideas didn't see the light of the day. In fact, you stumbled on Instagram or one place and you saw your idea in 2 legs and in 2 hands. You know you didn't talk to anybody, but you were waiting for everything to be perfect. You were waiting for when you would do your business, this thing, do everything step by step till you launch out. Somebody got the idea. He just did whatever he could get to do, send it to the market, was getting feedback, was making sure as he get the feedback, he will work on it, send it back. 5 years time, when you remember to start being an entrepreneur, you see that the person has made a lot of mistakes, learned faster, and has occupied a large share of the market. You're still thinking, should I, wanna, gonna, should I, woulda, coulda, wanna. No, we don't do that in Agile. We say, okay, this is what we want to do. We start making bit of it. I want to save, I want to buy a house. No, we don't just have big dreams. We don't just keep documenting and writing things. We get to it. What can I start doing today? What can I start doing now? That's the way we think in Agile. It's a proactive way of thinking. Now, what else do we do in Agile? We value customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This looks like actually the first values, right? Where a lot of us talk to, you're grateful, you got this contract, you got this gig, fantastic. And then the day you went to sign the contract papers, that was the last day you saw the people that gave you the contract. There was no collaboration, nothing. Same thing as the analogy of your tailor. Nothing, nobody, you didn't say anything until you delivered that project. Now you have delivered the project. The customer doesn't like this. Oh, I feel like you should have changed it like this. I feel like this page should have been yellow. I feel like it because there was no customer collaboration. You just went ahead and you're just doing your things, forgetting that human beings, today they want to drink tea. This minute, their choices are just oscillating from left to right. In Agile, we value responding to change over following a plan. How do we value responding to change? If we are working on a project and there is something that needs to be done now, we leave everything we're doing and we focus on that most important thing that just came up. Not, let's plan it. Have you seen some spouse that they are so pessimist? Is that the word? They will not move. They will not. Babe, I'm thinking, let's do this. Oh, okay, let's plan. 6 months you past the planning. Something that you should take action here and now. Something is very important. Yes. So it's just like you started your day today, right? And you had a list of things you wanted to do. Your mind was set out on a plan. But in the midst of the day, something happened. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative, all right? But something happened. And when that thing happened, you notice that you need to leave everything. What if they called you that in your child's school, oh, this something is happening, and you say, no, today I plan my day. I'm going to do X, Y, Z, bro. That no longer matter anymore. There's something that is now highest priority that you need to put your attention on. So this is what we mean. Anytime you hear we value the things in the left over the things in the right, remember that we're talking about the Agile values. So I'll go back to the class. Are we following? Does it look like I'm rapping? Are you guys enjoying this session? I'm not seeing plenty thumbs up, but what's happening? All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's go back to what we have here. Now, we also have the 12 Agile principles. I really love to dwell on this, but it's something that, if you're really serious about doing things the Agile way, you can also go and read up on this. The Agile principles are 12. Remember, it's different. 4 Agile values, 12 Agile principles, okay? So the Agile principles, working product is the primary measure of goals. I really, really want to dwell on this, but again, go read up on it. Now, let's look at the Agile frameworks. Let's look at the Agile frameworks. Now, for me to talk about these Agile frameworks, if you're joining the class just now, you're in luck. Let's go back to this. These are the Agile frameworks. I usually like using this analogy. When you want to remember what an Agile framework is, I use the analogy of a house, okay? So let's say there is something called an agile house. You know, those palatial homes, those very big homes where you could have like 12 rooms, 15 rooms, very big homes, rich, wealthy homes like that is usually very big. Okay. Now, we would call that palatial home an agile house. Now, in the agile house, there are a lot of rooms. So you could call one room, you want to start, giving the rooms names. So you could call one room Scrum room, the other Kanban room, the other Lean room, and it goes like that. So those rooms that you're naming are what we call the Agile framework. Now, if that analogy doesn't work for you, excuse me, another analogy that I think will work for you is think of project management as the grandparents. The grandparents, okay? Everybody have one. And then think of Agile as you. Think of Agile as you. Anybody could have been any name. It could have been Josephine. Heck, it could have been Deborah. Any name. So think of project management as your grandparents or as your parents. But in this case, grandparents. And think of Agile as you. And then you give birth to a lot of children. In this case, there was nothing like family planning. You were giving birth. So you have like up to 12 kids. So all of these guys are grandchildren of project management, and these are your kids, like they're your direct descendants, sort of like that. Yeah, it works like that. So have this in mind, and let's talk about the Agile frameworks. Now, what are the Agile frameworks? In all of the Agile frameworks, there is one that is the most popular. So you know that family where they have maybe 2 to 3 kids, but let's not lie, there's this particular child that is the most popular among the kids, or not maybe necessarily popular, but very extroverted, outgoing, outspoken, that when guests come, they're like, they'll just quickly ask you, oh, is that your daughter? Oh, is that your son? It's the most popular. Or like those days in school or in your department, there are a whole lot of people, but there's somebody or this group of persons that were very, very popular. Exactly. So in the Agile frameworks, the children that Agile bettered, there's this most popular kid, and that child is Scrum. To the extent that it had a particular, this is the only framework that had a special role named to it. And that's why over the years, you are hearing Scrum Master. Scrum Master. The rest didn't have a role attached to it. So it was just the most popular kid in the block. So you cannot talk about the Agile frameworks without mentioning the most popular kid called Scrum. Now, Scrum is also an iterative framework. We talked about the fact that Agile is iterative. Don't let it confuse you. So it's just like me and my parents. Because my parents gave birth to me, I carry a truckload of their DNA. I would have very great similarities with them. That it's easy to say, oh, are you a Okafor's son? Oh, are you this person's daughter? Oh, is that your sister? They could trace a lot of things just by looking at me. They could say, okay, this person is your mom, right? Oh, you're from this family, right? Because I have their traits. So the same way Agile is iterative, Scrum is also iterative, like mother, like daughter, like son, like father, just like that, same thing. Let it not confuse you, okay? But the thing about Scrum is that it has defined roles, events, and artifacts. So in all I'm going to teach, if time permits, this is the star of the show. This is the main character. This guy, this girl is the person I'm most interested in. Because you see, if you understand this very first child, this is the first child that Agile gave birth to. If you understand this first child, other children, it's easy to decipher them. It's easy to understand them. It will make meaning. If you leave this first child and study about the rest, well, not everybody, but to a large extent, you'll be a little bit confused. But if you study this child, this particular popular child very well, the rest, you will see traits of this child in all the other children. Just like, your siblings are, people see your siblings and they say, oh, that's your brother, that's your sister. Exactly, that's the way it is. Now, let's talk about Kanban is a visual workflow management focusing on continuous delivery and limiting work in progress. Lean is something that we practice in our daily life. All of these frameworks I'm going to have time to dwell on the frameworks, and I will show you that the things in this framework, you're hearing it and you're like, hey, which one again? Which one is Scrum, Kanban? Trust me, these things are not hard. These are things that you're practicing in your daily life. You just didn't know. So lean is saying we are eliminating waste and focusing on the essentials. I'll just touch up on it. Nothing serious for today. So extreme programming, this is usually used by the engineering team, the core team. They use extreme programming a lot. And then there is SAFe. SAFe means scaled agile framework, where we are scaling things. And then others, we have Crystal, DSDM, there's a whole lot of it, okay? Now let's go to Scrum. You've heard a lot, Scrum Master, Master of Scrum. I remember those days when I started this journey newly, and I was, got the certification, and I was so excited. Josephine, now you're a Scrum Master. That Master Gunga, that name trips me. So anytime I'm in some place and they ask me, Josephine, what do you do? I'm like, oh, okay, what I do, I'm a Scrum Master. And then you hear people's voice, like their face is like, So I see different categories of people who pretend that they know what I'm saying. And like, oh, okay. They don't know what I'm saying. And then some persons are bold to ask and say, Scrum Master, what do Scrum Masters really do? And I found out that, okay, this is it, Josephine. They've caught you. Because then I'll start explaining. Nigerians call it shalaye. And the person is lost. What are you saying? What's going on? Yeah, I just asked you one small question and you're saying a lot of things, right? So because those things will happen, I say, you know what, Josephine, cut it. Josephine, what do you do? I'm a project manager. Simple. Sepini, we're good. Everybody just goes to their home. So, but hey, let's talk about the Scrum framework, okay? For a lot of us who are looking to diversify, being a Scrum Master, or even if you're not a Scrum Master, the things you will learn can be adopted in every area of your project, whatever role you want or career path you want to follow. So if you want to learn Scrum, there's only one way. There's only one way to learn Scrum. One way alone. You want to learn Scrum, you have to learn the Scrum Guide. Simple. How do you say, or how do I, Josephine, say I'm a Nigerian? I don't know the Constitution. It's not adding up. Not adding up. Oh, I'm a Muslim. You don't understand the Quran. Excuse me, what's going on here? Oh, I'm a Christian. You've never read the Bible. You don't understand it. Does not make sense. It doesn't. So at any point in time that you want to choose the Scrum framework, you want to adopt it into a project, because you can be a project manager and decide to adopt Scrum in the project. Yes? So if you want to learn Scrum and you say, you know what, I will not bother myself about the Scrum Guide. I think you should switch to another framework. Go and pick up Kanban, pick up Lean, there's a whole lot of frameworks. There are more than 20, if I'm exaggerating. Scrum is not for you. Because if you're going to learn Scrum, there is a working body of knowledge. There's a constitution. There is an holy grail. It is the Scrum Guide. Every Scrum Master is guided, functions within the jurisdiction and the ambit of the Scrum Guide. And this reminds me that I'm going to pull in some, I want to put some materials in the pods this evening. If I have this evening, by God's grace, I'm going to put some materials. So if you're not yet in the growth pod, and this is where you really want to be, then you're missing a lot, because a lot of things will be happening there tonight. All right. So the Scrum framework works within the Scrum Guide. Now, what are the roles in the Scrum Guide? When you're a project manager, we say you have a project team. Good. When you're a Scrum Master, we say you have a Scrum team. We don't call it the project team. Now, all of these things at play is a switch of terminologies. That's what is at play. So when we look at the roles within the Scrum Guide, within Scrum, the Scrum Guide says that the only role that functions within the Scrum team is product owner, Scrum Master, and development team. So if you say you're a business analyst, you fall into the development team. If you say whatever role you are in tech and you are in a project, according to the Scrum guide, your name is, I don't want to use the word irrelevant, but it's under the umbrella of development team. You're very important actually, but we don't notice you by your name. We put you under the umbrella of development team. So for people who are looking to write exam and for knowledge purposes, the roles in the Scrum guide is the product owner, the Scrum master, and the development team. So if you are not a product owner, you're not a Scrum master, you fall under the development team. Now, I used to like if somebody somewhere is saying, this girl, you're saying plenty things tonight. Okay, I know, I understand fairly project manager, everything around project manager, and then Scrum guide. I'll give you an analogy, and this is the last thing I want to say this evening. I'm going to come back to the class again. This session will be in 2 weeks. Okay, so this is the last thing I want to say this evening. You understand project manager, at least fairly, and then now I'm talking about Scrum master. I use this analogy, don't forget it. Anytime you hear Scrum master, Agile, project manager, let this analogy come to mind. Now, I usually say, and again, people should not go and drag me on X, on Twitter, and the only time I can cry. This is just an analogy. So I usually say that project manager is like a single parent. Now, of course, we know that most single parents, they are not single parents by choice. You know, they became single parents because of circumstances. And if you know, maybe you know what a single parent is, which a lot of us do, you know that they are both mom and dad to their child or their children. They play both roles because naturally, one person is not supposed to carry that load of work. And they're doing a fine job at it. At least most of them are doing a fine job. So being a project manager, you are likened to be a single parent. You're carrying a lot of load. You're being the father, the mother to that child, irrespective of your gender. And you know that by nature, this is not how at least it's supposed to be. There has to be delegated roles and responsibilities so that, life will be good. But here's the thing. For a project manager, you're likened to a single parent. But in Agile, and you bring it to the Scrum, where I showed you now that the roles are product owner, Scrum master, and development team. This is a fully functional family. The product owner is likened to the father. He's the leader of the family. Again, don't drag me. Feminists, everybody, please, it's an example. Just get the analogy, all right? So the product owner is likened to the father in the family. The Scrum master is likened to the mother in the family. The development team is likened to the children. Look at it. In a project, there's a role called product owner. It says you are the owner of the product. So before a project starts, what a project manager usually does, gather requirements, do research, gather requirements, start documentation, do this before executing. That's what a product owner does. The father is always leading the home, trying to make sure that, finances, everything is great, because he is the product owner. If you flip the name, it says owner of the product. So as the owner of the product, the whole product is on your shoulder. You tell us what to do, you prioritize the requirement, you go do your research, you make sure everything follows compliance, you make sure everything is ready. Now, the Scrum Master is usually waiting at the execution part. So as Scrum Masters, you're the mom in this setting where now the requirements are there, everything is there. You are like the mediator, the middleman between the father and the children. You are what I call the balance. You are like, what do I call it now? You are like the main point man. You are the middleman. Usually, those days I worked in the FMCGs, right? Those days we have the distributor, the wholesalers, the retailers, and all of that. Now, for the distributors, these are the people that buy in so much quantity, that have the purchasing power, buy directly from the organization. But then a distributor buying in bulk is of no use. The goods are stuck with you without the wholesaler, because the wholesaler is the point between the distributor and the retailers, and from the retailers who send to the end user. So in that chain of sales, the wholesaler is the most important person when you look at it. So critically, in the home, the wife is playing that wholesaler role. She's the middle, she's mediating between the children, the development team, and of course the product owner. So the directives are coming and she's asking, oh, product owner, what do you think we should, just the way you ask your husband, what do you think? So he has his own shared, they have shared responsibilities, but the roles are clear. This person is doing this person is doing this. The children know what they should do in the home. The wife knows her role in the home. There is no blurry part. The husband knows his role in the home. So everything is clear, and then the home is moving forward. So I'd really, really like to dwell on this, but this is 9:56, my time, and I'll just give room for one or two questions and we can wrap up. And of course, this is a series. So yeah. Who wants to give contribution, ask questions, or you just want to talk about the session? Joy, go for it.
I want to appreciate you for today's session, although I came late. So I just want to know this Scrum, because just like you said earlier, many of these terminologies are actually very new to me. So this Scrum, Agile, all of it, are there tools, online tools that you can use for your work as a project manager, or are they just necessary tools that everybody must have? Or is it just peculiar to just project management? And is it possible for somebody to study about it outside of this class, like just do like a research and know what it's all about? Yes, that is just my question. Thank you very much once again.
Very good question. Thank you, Joy. Yes, so whatever side of the pendulum you are in, Agile, Scrum, there's a general tool that those parents, those parents now, those couples, project and management, yes, there's a project management tool. So whichever side of the pendulum you're in, everybody is going to use a project management tool. Remember, there is one parent that gave birth to us, project management. Yeah. So there's a general tool, project management tool, that everybody, as long as you're within that family tree, you will use it regardless of the side of the pendulum you're in. And yes, you can do more research. So one of the things I also want to do is put materials into the pods as different pods, and then you can always also do your own personal research as well. I don't know if that answered your question, Joy. Can you hear me, Joy? You're mute. Okay. All right. So I'm hoping that you got that right.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. My network.
Okay. So I said whatever part of the pendulum or side of the coin you're in, there's a general tool for everybody, which is a project management tool. And then, of course, you can always research on it. Did you get that? Guys, is it my network? Am I audible? I'm audible, right? Thanks, Nafisa. All right, cool.
Very audible.
Thank you. All right. So who else wants to ask questions? Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Any questions? And, share your thoughts. What do you think about the session? Hi, Gilbert. Well, good. Yeah, Deborah, go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Thank you so much, Josephine. I love your teaching. The way you teach is that even the layman, somebody that doesn't know anything, will be able to grasp something from what you say. The simple example you give on a day-to-day basis goes a long way. And when I saw you put this, I'll call it projects together, I was so happy. I'm really glad to be here and to be part of what you do. You're not being paid. You have passion for what you do. So I really thank God for this project or program you've put together. So for me, as you said, you can teach us, and that we also have a part to play. Like the last speaker was asking, what are the project management tools? What are they? Is it compulsory that these tools must be used? Again, I would say that's a homework. Like you said, you can do your own research. What are the tools that are used in project management? You clearly stated um, it depends on what tools in that organization is using. For me, already, you know me, you've taught me before. So I had some ideas, and currently, obviously, I'm looking for a job. So, but for me, I have on when you're now teaching, it's kind of falling into place because you have taught me and I have an idea and it's making sense, Emmanuel, I'm talking. So I believe for each and every one of us that are out there or that are on this line tonight that you're not aware of, I'll just encourage you to keep coming because Josephine is something, she's a practical person. As she's teaching you the theory, she's also bringing the practical aspect of things that will give you clarity, more clarity. She will simplify it to the lowest that you will understand it. So please, let's make use of it because many times we do not respect or value something that comes free. We only value something that, we pay for, So, but this hasn't, we don't know how far or how long this is going to go. So whatever opportunity we have now, let's utilize it and let's value it. Let's value her time. And that will also encourage her to keep coming and to give us that value or share her knowledge because naturally you can clearly see that she has passion for what she do. This is her own area. So thank you, Josephine, for putting this together. I'm really blessed to be part of it. Thank you. God bless you, ma.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Deborah. This is like, thank you. I'm blushing. Thank you. Love your kind words. Okay, a few minutes, Cherish, because I know we've shoot more than the time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cherish,
all
go
right.
for it.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and super appreciation to Josephine. Um, I want to tell everyone that we should take this very serious because me, I am. You might be thinking it's free, but one thing I've come to realize in life is that nothing is actually free. So
Mhm.
whatever you are getting on the free platform, someone has paid for it. So if you are getting it free, it's because Josephine has paid for it, far above the money, at time, and it's not very convenient to really be up late sometimes, even to prepare the materials for our delivery. So I want us to note that you might be thinking it's free, but Josephine is really paying that much. Much love, Josephine. Thank you very much. I personally appreciate you and I appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. So see you in the next class. So tomorrow we're going to have a class about landing that job and how you're going to ace your interview. Don't miss it. There's someone who's going to teach. I'm going to, share the materials or share the flyers. It's already there, but I'm just going to create a PR for it tomorrow. Gilbert, okay, very quickly, please.
All right. Good evening, Josephine.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, everybody. I met you sometime last week, and I just came online and I saw this. I decided to just jump on it. Thank you so much. I just want to ask, um, probably maybe one on one later, but I just want to ask it here generally. I was interested in project management. I've been interested all along. But my dear, we're looking for money everywhere, trying to make ends meet and all that. So
Yeah.
I barely have the time. I did Coursera in Google before. I just did one. I think the foundations or the fundamentals, and that was where I had one certificate, and that was why I hung it. I had planned to do Scrum and then Agile and all the other stuff going forward. In fact, my ultimate goal is to do the PMP exam and all that. But right now, I'm struggling. I don't know where to start from. As I speak to you right now, I don't know where to start from. And when I met you and I heard project management, I said, oh, so maybe he's drawing me back to it again. And I'm glad.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for being there for everybody and what you do. It's not easy to teach people, and your time, like the last speaker said, you are paid for. you paid for it, and I appreciate every little knowledge you are passing to us. It will go a long way. So that's just my concern right now. I don't know where to start from. I'm just stuck here.
No
So thank you so
problem.
much.
So what?
Mm.
Thank you so much, Gilbert. I appreciate the kind words. So what you're going to do is send me a DM, okay, so that we can talk. Like we could just have a little bit of consultation. That's fine. All right. So thanks,
Okay.
everyone. See you guys in the next session tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Bye for now.
Bye.